Welcome to Business Matters Magazine, 7 Magic Steps. Our Mastermind Toolbox series is all about helping empowering business to grow and prosper through motivation and education. Today we're going to speak to Ian Rowe. Welcome, Ian. Ian's from Q Personnel. Q Personnel is a local Sunshine Coast personnel agency. Yep. And we're going to ask Ian for his 7 magic steps on the people industry. So to give our viewers a little bit of insight into these 7 magic steps, what would be the first step that you would actually recommend to somebody looking to employ the perfect team member?
I think the first thing you need to do is write a detailed job description. I think to look at what the exact job functions that person is going to be performing is, and to write it down on, in a document that you can also share with the person through the recruitment process, so they're aware of exactly what they're expected to achieve in that position. You can also talk about KPIs and targets for that person, but also it's I guess to some regards a legally binding document, so further down the track, it can be used performance appraisals, incentive bonuses, etc.
So the second question is, what advice would you give someone who would ordinarily follow their instincts about the person that they're going to employ? In other words, they meet someone and think, this is a great person, I'm going to give them a job. What would you say to that person?
Good question. I think it's there's always an element of risk. If you just rely purely on gut instinct, there's always an element of risk. I guess there's a couple of examples I'd like to share. One is where you've got 2 candidates who are perfectly matched, skills, experience, qualifications. They've come through all of our candidate screening and testing, both on a par. There's got to be something there that tips the balance in one way or the other. And sometimes you'd go with gut instinct and say, look, it just seems to be a better fit for this role. That doesn't regularly happen when you get 2 candidates that are an exact match. A more common scenario is where you get someone who does perfectly fit the profile on paper. They're perfect for what you're looking for. The skills, experience, they've come through the testing, they've interviewed well. Versus a candidate who's almost there. They've almost ticked all the boxes, but they're not quite at the same level. However, when you interview them or when you meet them, they've just got that little bit of pizzazz about them. There's that little something that you just see in them that you think that they're going to be a leader or an exceptional talent. I think then you maybe go with, and it depends on the position they're going for, but then you'd go with your gut and maybe you would go for it.
Your instinct.
I mean, historically, for the people that I've brought on myself, either in recruitment or in management, and I look at the people who I've hired through gut instinct, they've always been in sales. Always salespeople that I've used my instinct, and it's always been in that interview that they've done something that's made you see the potential in them. So,
yes, use your instinct, but make sure you check them out thoroughly.
Absolutely, and that goes for anyone. But I think more, I think as a client doing their own recruiting, I would only recommend that they trust their instinct if they've got a track record of being successful in doing so. So if they've hired previously and they've used their gut and it's worked well, then you can probably rely on it. But if it's the first time, then be thorough, be very thorough in the screening of the candidate.
Okay.